Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Film Review Show. This week we watched La Cabina, a film from 1972, another short film, and my guests this week to review La Cabina. First off, on my right, Oliver O'Dell.
Hey.
And on my left, special guest star Matthew Keleher with his brand of film criticism.
Hold up.
So first off, I'm going to ask you, Matthew. What did you think of the film?
I enjoyed the film. You know, it seemed, you know, first to be a very simple premise, but you know it was quite slow moving, but it kept you guessing, you know, throughout how it would kind of spin out.
And could you give the viewers at home, just in case they haven't watched the film, a bit more information on the film?
Yeah, it might have been better to have given that first, but you know, live reviews and all that. Basically the premise of the film is that is a very sort of bright red phone box is installed by mysterious telephone operators, and it becomes a little bit of a talking point among the locals, and you know, you see people sort of admiring it on the way to school, you know, going about the daily business, and then we have a businessman and his son is just he's just sort of sending him off to school, and the son kind of kicks the football into the phone box and takes it out, and his father said, "Look, yeah, all right, on your way, have a good day at school," and then when the kid sort of is off to do the day studies, the old businessman decides he's got an important call to make, and what better place to make that call than in the brand new shiny red phone box. That is actually a pivotal point in the film, because he tries to make the phone call, and it turns out that the phone that's been installed in the phone box is dud, doesn't work. But it gets better. A gust of wind blows the door shut, and he can't get out. He's jammed. He's stuck in it. You know, it's crazy.
And what happened after that?
Well, what happened after that was you know, he was stuck. He was completely unable to get out of the phone box. But as luck would have it, there were a couple of friendly engineers passing by.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, "Oh, look! Oh, what have you done? What have you done? Let's get you out." But you know, after an attempt or two, you know, they're stumped as well, and they said, like, "Look, you know, we've got some work to get to, so you know, we can't really hang around anymore. But you know, we wish you the best of luck. Hope you get out." Now it gets quite interesting, you know, a little bit farcical and humorous at this point, because you know, it's quite a sort of a close knit community, and everyone's starting to guess, you know, what's going on, why is this guy stuck in this format, why isn't he coming out? And of course, you know, like if anything like that, you know, kids are the cruelest of all. You know, they'll just start mocking him, and you're like, oh yeah, you know, I've you know, like he's a circus animal. Oh, have some peanuts, and you know, it's clearly just, he just has this sort of incredulous sort of look for it, being like, oh, yeah. Yeah. it gets bigger and bigger. Basically, like more people kind of get in on the act, trying to get him out. It's a bit farcical at this stage. Like there's a strong man who thinks he can kind of smash his way in, and then there's like and then there's the sort of handyman who sort of argues that technical skill is mightier than the brawn. Just a little bit of technical know-how, but they're all stumped. And it goes on and on and on, but it looks like there's light at the end of the tunnel because the local police force.
Matthew, can I just stop you there? I was looking for a general synopsis of the film, not a scene by scene account.
Yeah.
But if you guys are happy to do a scene by scene account.
I got a bit carried away there. Yeah.
And the guys watching it at home are happy to see that. Give us like a film review show a thumbs up. Ollie, there was quite a tonal shift in the film, wasn't there?
Yeah.
What were you surprised by that?
Yeah. Because it was quite funny the first half, wasn't it? It was just like oh, it's not gonna get out, is it? What's going on? What crazy shenanigans are they gonna try next? But at the point where they picked up by the phone operators, it gets a little bit sinister, doesn't it?
And I'm just going to flip back to Matthew Keleher for this next one. Thanks for that, Ollie. Where do you think that the phone box was going?
The film.
The actual phone box. Where do you think that it was taken to? And at what point did you think, hang on, this isn't funny?
I actually thought that it was about the midpoint of the film, wasn't it? Or maybe just before that. I don't know. The second half seemed longer, but when the phone box, no, it looks right. There was a point where like as I was saying before, that the police came, and it looked, they had the sort of, they were about to smash through the roof with the hammer, but at that point, where it could have been resolved, and it could, that's where it looked like it was going. Because, they got the ladder, they got the tools, they had the force to smash through. That's how it would have ended. But it's never that simple, is it? The phone operators arrived and they said, no. They sort of loaded the phone box up and carried it off. Yeah, and still a glimmer of hope. One of the villagers, one of the townspeople said, oh, good luck, you'll get out. Well-wishing, quite jovial. But, the guy was getting more distressed at this point because he didn't know what was going on.
Who was your favourite character in the film?
My favourite character in the film was the businessman. Because he's all of us. I got so caught up in the sort of details of the film that I forgot to recount a similar story of my own, although it didn't end quite the same way. Yeah, when I was 7 years old, I went to church, and churches are quite old buildings, and I got lost in the toilet, but it wasn't like a sort of modern toilet. We had these sort of grand oak doors, and they had to be taken off the hinge.
How long were you inside the toilet for?
About an hour. But I wasn't bothered because I found it quite boring, so I didn't have to sit through.
So there was no point where you were thinking, "Hang on, I might be here forever."
No.
That thought never crossed your mind.
It didn't. I think if I'd have been there a day or two, that those thoughts would probably have started to have crept in, especially if there was no one around as well. It would have been quite isolated. But through the majority of the film, he was he was absolutely surrounded by activity, and he was just sort of like a passive observer. But he was confined. He was stuck in this place. And the hope grew less and less, especially from the point when he was collected by the telephone engineers.
Did you know it was going to end badly at that point?
When it was collected by the telephone engineers, I mean at the beginning, it was quite foreboding and ominous. Like that's my initial thought of the film when the telephone box was being delivered, because it was quite cryptic. Like what's this? It's clearly not an ordinary telephone box. But those thoughts sort of subsided, when it was quite light-hearted, the farce of him being trapped in the phone box and everything. But it sort of shifted back to that especially when the telephone engineers came again.
And how do you think? What do you think happened to him in the end?
It's hinted at, and I think like that's the moment. He was just sort of overcome with like agony and madness when he saw like the fate of the dozens of others who would just happen to chance upon one of those telephone boxes and been one of the unlucky ones.
Matt, you don't see telephone boxes around much these days, do you?
You see it, not many.
Do you think that the film and the lack of telephone boxes in the UK, the United Kingdom, guys, we are recording this live from England. Do you think that the lack of telephone boxes in England is a direct result of this film?
Yes and no, really. I mean, obviously, this film was released in Spain, as it's relatively unheard of, but there is a chance that that a few sort of world cinema connoisseurs in England would have seen this film, and it may have put them off using phone boxes, and that may have slightly contributed to the decline of the use of phone boxes. But also overwhelmingly, the sort of growth in popularity of mobile phones, and phone calls being much more cheaper, text messages, SMS, and all that. That's the major contributing factor in telephone boxes being shifted out. But a very sort of minute influence of it could have been this film. Yeah, I suppose that's a good point. It's not something that I thought of, but yeah.
Ollie, just want to nip to you just for a quick second. Have you ever been locked in anywhere?
Yeah, actually, like on a family holiday, when I was 8, I was locked in the caravan for like about an hour, because everyone went for ice cream and like they forgot about me.
And do you think that that's had any kind of influence on you as a person, as an adult?
No, I'm just a bit, maybe just a little bit more cautious about not getting locked in places.
And not using a caravan?
No. I mean, it was fine. I mean, if it had been like 3 days or something, maybe. But it was only an hour. And I did get an ice cream in the end anyway, so all's well that ends well.
What flavour was the ice cream?
It was strawberry and mint chocolate chip. I remember it. I've waited ages for that ice cream, you know. And I had a flake and all.
Was the flake separate?
It was a good flake, not one of those like shitty crumbly ones, but you know, proper sort of fudge chocolate one. It was good. And you know, like a biscuit cone, you know, it was proper like sort of you know, seaside ice cream, you know, from one of those proper cafes. It's great.
Okay, thanks, Ollie.
All
Just just gonna go back to Matt. So Matt, what was your favourite scene in the film?
Yeah, my favourite scene in the film was the you know, sort of the town strongman. You know, like he sort of walked there. He was sort of strutting around with his Puma bag. You know, he'd clearly been sort of. It was probably like a local wrestling champion or something like that. And he was sort of, you know, he sort of had the big sort of reputation, and you know, the reputation was riding on the line. It's like, look, yeah, I'm gonna smash this, guys. You know, and you know, I'll be the toast of the town. But you know, he ate his words, didn't he? He couldn't budge it. And
what was your favourite film in the scene?
My favourite film in the scene was the one about the telephone box.
Sorry, Oliver. I'm saying your name when it's not your question. Sorry about that, Ollie. Ollie, I'm sorry about that.
Sorry. You were saying, dude?
Back to you, Matthew.
Yeah.
Just another question about La Cabina. At what point, if that had been you, at what point would you have started to panic?
At what point would I have started to panic? Probably at the point where it was. Well, I would have started to panic at the point where it was being carried away because before there was the stability, and right up to that, you know, it seemed fairly certain that he would be rescued.
And at what point would you have stopped being? Well, would you have started to feel embarrassed?
At what point? A little bit from the sort of moment when when you'd spent too long for a normal phone call and people started to notice, and that would be the point when the two first engineers were passing by, and it like, hey, oh, what have you done? Have you locked yourself in there? What are you like? You know, and like it would have got worse, you know, like with all the kids pointing and laughing, and then everyone sort of taking a seat. It became a bit of a spectacle, didn't it? No, it was pretty embarrassing at first, and then like the embarrassment just sort of gave way to this uneasiness and uncertainty, and you know, that just escalated throughout the second half of the film.
Matt, would you watch this film again?
I will watch this film again. While I did enjoy it, probably wouldn't watch it again. But it was a good film. I did enjoy it, but I would probably watch the last one, the Logorama again, but
that's the previous week's episode.
Yeah, the previous week's episode.
Thank you for not speaking about previous episodes.
Why is that?
Because that was last week, and viewers are watching this week's episode, and I don't want to confuse the viewers by talking about a previous week's episode when they're watching this week's episode.
Oh, okay.
Marks out of 10 First off, actually, I'm going to go
Yeah.
to Oliver O'Dell.
Yeah,
On the
okay.
right. Ollie, marks out of 10.
I'm going to give it 5 red phone boxes out of 10.
So that's 2.5 red phone boxes out of 5.
Yeah.
Matt, what are you going to give it out of 10?
I'm going to give it a cool 7 cutoff tones out of 10.
Okay, that's a reasonably respectable score.
It is, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to end this week's film review show at this point. Just want to say thanks to you guys, Oliver O'Dell on the right, and special guest star Matthew Keleher on the left, for a great review of this week's film, La Cabina. Just all that there is to say is hit the subscribe button, guys. You who watching, keep viewing, like these videos, because it's, as I say every week, if it wasn't for you guys we wouldn't do this. You give us the impetus and the strength to carry on. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hey, we'll hopefully we'll see you next week.
You hang up. No, you hang up. You hang up. Bye. Oh, I'm definitely putting the phone down now. Yeah, you hang up. Okay.